The sun is hiding and the magpie is casting. Hello and welcome to all my viewers from around the world. Magpie842 coming at you today with a 2v2 battle between the forces of Rodrigues and fary96 playing for the Allies. Rodrigues here having immediately picked the mechanized company, so he's going to go for the WC-51 military truck pretty pronto here. Spawning in the south side of the map, we have playing as the Overcommand Complex cN, and his ally playing as the Wehrmacht Afghan Spy cN. So, judging by the clan suffix here, these guys should be quite used to playing with each other. They probably have good, decent communication and probably a few different strategies that they're used to employing. We'll see where this truck is going to deploy for the Overcommand as he slinks it forward. Let's see. So, yeah, the mechanized company, so it gives you that WC-51, gives you the ability to withdraw your vehicles for a fuel refund, gives you the M3 half-track assault group, a recon suite, which is pretty useful, and a chunky artillery barrage. Ooh, wow, yes, that one is quite a chunky one too. This replay was kindly sent to me by Rodrigues, who's a friend of mine. We've been playing a few games. Rodrigues said that this is a pretty good battle, and so yeah, looking forward to seeing what happens. Rodrigues is a pretty good player. He gets match made up against pretty decent opponents. He's certainly a more skilled player than I am, so hopefully we can learn something from this game here. Hopefully it's going to be a really good, close battle. Both forces spreading out to take various points across the map. It seems like the Wehrmacht player, Afghan Spy, has now chosen Elite Troops Doctrine. So this one lets him trade fuel and manpower for veterancy. It gives him those stun grenades. He gets the Panzer Tactician upgrade for all of his vehicles, which is very useful. The Jaeger Light Infantry upgrade, which I'm a little bit on the fence about. I'm never really sure that it's worth the investment. I don't really see the benefits so much, but hey, I could very well be wrong, so we'll see if and how he uses it. And finally, at 17 command points, he gets the almighty Tiger Ace. Both teams spreading units out across the map, these rear echelon troops getting the jump on an MG42 here. That's probably going to force a fallback, I would have thought. And just coming in from the north here, WC-51 military truck coming in just to put the finishing touches on that attack. A Kugelwagen coming out here for Complex. A great choice ordinarily, however, if we check the units for the Allies, we have a scout car here for the Russians, which is just out on the left flank with the engineers riding on board. We also have the WC-51 military truck from the Americans. Both of these units are a really, really good counter to the Kugelwagen. They'll kill it very quickly, and here we have the WC-51. It's going to come into the rear armor of the Kugelwagen. It's going to inflict good damage. Now, with an immediate reverse move, he may have been able to save this, but I'm already going to go ahead and say that this Kugelwagen's pretty much as good as dead. We'll see if that actually comes to pass. The main gun destroyed. Some penal legion there, just forcing that foremost squad of Overcommand troops back. Oh my goodness, is the Kugelwagen going to escape? Surely not. No, there's a rifleman squad in its rear armor. That would do the trick. Meanwhile, the skirmish on the right flank, some riflemen making use of this medium cover. They are under attack from two sides. The Pioneers here at decent range, and I think it's the Grenadiers here. They're going to be hooning in with their accurate and powerful KR-98K rifles. And I believe we'll probably see some trading for damage and then a fallback from this rifle squad if things stay as they are, which looking at the minimap, they will. The Schwerer Schlepper heavy truck has been constructed here as the battle group headquarters, and a very modest positioning here on that building from Complex, clearly not wanting to, I don't know, risk the truck, because the closer you build it to your home, obviously, the less benefit you get from it in some ways, but also the safer it is. And I think Overcommand are definitely at their weakest when their trucks are under assault. So Complex not even wanting to kind of present that opportunity, going to deploy his truck in a pretty defensible position. But I have to say, actually, on Minsk Pocket, this position here gives his troops access to, you can go left or right, so he has like good access to the map from this position. So that's great. I mean, for example, if he'd have even just put it here, then that's slightly more annoying. Oh no, it's not, because the troops can run here through here. So yes, ignore that. Moot point. See now, Afghan Spy making a little bit of a push into the courtyard on the right-hand side of the map. And his Grenadiers taking up good positions. Wow, able to knock down the echelon troops pretty quickly. Let's see if he's going to be able to get a Panzerfaust into the WC-51, and he does, inflicting good damage, but that truck should be able to escape, I think. He's going to pursue it for damage with his rifles. Keep an eye on that. An MG42 getting set up here and hosing down the building with riflemen, as two squads of penals, one with a flamethrower coming in from the left-hand side of the courtyard complex here, and a stun grenade being used. Awesome. So making use of the elite troops doctrine. Wow, so that stunned the riflemen for a good long time. And these two squads of grenadiers have done good damage, although you've got to feel like they want to escape now. Oof. Oh, dodging a satchel charge very narrowly with the MG42 squad. And these three squads down to just 2 and 1 men. This is a dangerous fallback. Are there any enemies on their fallback path? No, I think that they'll be okay to get out there. So almost the perfect timing there from Afghan Spy. Able to inflict decent damage using a stun grenade and an MG42 to force back the WC-51 military truck and inflict some losses on the American forces. Although it's fair to say, took some losses himself and forced to have a mass fallback. The Allies now making a bit of a land grab on the right-hand side. And if we pay attention to the minimap, although the Axis have 2 of the 3 victory points, map control firmly in the favour of Allies right now. I should actually spend just a second here to mention the map. The map is, of course, Minsk Pocket, which is a sort of foresty map, but it has a couple of features, such as this complex that we just saw a battle on the right flank. There's some sandbags and little bits of detritus on the left flank. I would describe this map as sort of medium density. There's good cover everywhere, but there are also lots of big line of sight blockers, which essentially divide the map into 3 lanes. You've kind of got like centre, the left, and the right. And these big line of sight and movement blockers pretty much, I don't know, define the character of the map.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
But I think it's one of the more balanced maps insofar as like the variations in terrain provide opportunities for almost any style to be effective.
The sector has been cut
Also,
off.
the building placement on the map are useful but not dominant, so I really like that too. The Axis forces just taking a second to secure some ground, catch their breath. This MG42 is not going to get deployed in time, and we're probably going to see a satchel charge, I would say, maybe. Yeah, there's the satchel charge, and is that going to go off to one they need to... Oh, dearie me.
We have lost an
And is Fary going to grab this MG42? I think he should, and he does. Is he going to immediately deploy it? He is. No, he's going to pull that one back. Meanwhile, the MG42 in the building here, enough to force these riflemen back out. The WC-51 military truck, did that survive? Unfortunately not. Well, that has died somewhere. Sorry, I think I must have missed that. The scout car, no flamer upgrade yet for those engineers who are riding in the scout car. We're going to come in and attack the forces of Complex here. Now, he doesn't quite have the munitions. In fact, he's nowhere near the munitions to afford himself a Panzerfaust. Whoa! Was that some mines? I think that must have been mines. That was pretty cool. Wow, got himself a scout car and nearly an engineer squad there. I mean, that's pretty cool. The Storm Pioneers coming through the overgrown area here. I'm going to force a fallback here. A Raketwerfer getting set up as well. So, choosing to spend his munitions on other things rather than saving up for the Shreks on the Volks, as is kind of typical, I would say, for Overcommand. And relying on the Raketwerfer for his anti-vehicle needs. So that's pretty cool, actually. I think on a map like that, or like this, that can really work because these lane sort of terrain kind of prevents the enemy from flanking weapon teams like this so effectively. So I think that's a pretty good choice on this map. And the Axis now re-securing the middle victory point. If we take a look at the scores, the Axis have a good lead at the moment, a little kind of about a 72 point lead, 71 point lead. So yeah, building up a nice little pocket there, and they are continuing to focus on the victory points, so that should develop further for them. Now, it'll be interesting. Complex, the only person who hasn't chosen his commander, and he does have the elite armoured doctrine. Now, in my experience, good rifle grenade here from Afghan Spy. Is that a squad wipe as well? Brutal. Wow, yeah. Yeah, sorry. I find that when I play as Overcommand and I have the elite armoured doctrine, I like to try not to pick a commander until the latest possible second, when I need an ability from one of my commanders. And if I make it to 11 command points and I have the 140 fuel and the manpower, I just call that Storm Tiger right on in, because, well, it's just a good unit, I think, actually. Seems like Fary making a bit of a dive down the left flank with 3 squads of frontline infantry backed up by a weapon team. Got to max him. Oh no, that's the MG42, which he was able to steal. Wow, so when the Soviets managed to steal an MG42, they get a 6-man squad to go with it. That is pretty much the best MG squad in the game almost now. You've got a lot of advantages of the Maxim put onto the formidable MG42. I guess he's going to deploy that behind this log here in the medium cover. As on the right flank, the forces of Afghan Spy are going to try and reclaim this complex once again. We do have a fighting position upgraded with a 50 cal, and that's going to start chewing into them right about now. And that's going to be a little frustrating.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
Yeah, there it is. Instant suppression and cutting one of these grenadiers down straight away. And a pack howitzer coming out. So what are we at now? The 10-minute mark, and a pack howitzer is on the front and firing. So that tells us that. Sorry, I haven't really been paying attention to the teching choices, but yes, Rodrigues. Alright, well I hope that you guys can still see this. I just had a bit of a screen crash, but I'm back now. Wow, yeah, fighting breaking out across the map. A big push from Overcommand here, backed up with a lie, and an infrared half-track, very seldom used, and I really am excited to see this. They've reduced the fuel cost, so that it now costs only 200 manpower and no fuel, so it'll be really exciting to see what it's like now. The penal squad's lighting up these Storm Pioneers who are going to be forced to get out of there, but they're very clustered. A good hit from the Lig could suppress and kill many of these guys. Oh dearie me though, they are just chewing up the logs. And that grenade is not going to help things either, as Complex in a bit of a bind. He's got to be careful with this IR half-track as well. I believe these engineers could push it. As on the right flank, marauding rifleman squads just kind of breaking through all over the shop. As fuel cache is under construction. This MG42, I think it's just going to be a permanent fixture here. I think, well, I suppose that is the victory point, so he'll be happy to leave that there covering that. So yeah, that seems fair. That does seem fair. Let's take a look at the teching for the Russian player. So he's gone tier 1 and 2. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. He's got a lot of troops here. He wants to run these out. And there they go. Yeah, that's interesting. An ambulance here, blood spattered, ready to go as well for Rodrigues. The Allies now taking map control and domination of the victory points as well. So we have a moment's quiet before the next storm. Where's this infrared half-track? Is it still in the same place? Yeah. This is pretty cool.
Crew, stand ready.
What's the range on this thing? So it's seeing to about here.
Forward elements report and infantry unit lost.
Oh, wow. The pack howitzer and I believe some mines doing work on this squad in mid. They're going to try and get a grenade onto the pack howitzer, and that will be a success. Oof, doing really good damage as well. Thankfully though for the American player Rodrigues, there is an ambulance just here.
MG-34 heavy machine guns are now available. Heavy fortification now
Some
available.
Storm Pioneers going to try and rush down the MG42. Probably wants to get out of there. But the Storm Pioneers are able to be turned aside and get back. This infrared half-track lighting everyone up. It's pretty cool. So the Overcommand player, Complex, kind of being frustrated here. Not able to...
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Not able to make advantage against Fary's Soviet forces. Ooh, and a Zis gun moving slowly into position. I wonder why it's moving that slowly. And you're going to use the barrage ability against the Lig, which he knows is there. The shells are actually just flumping into this pile of wood at the moment, though. So no effect, actually, from that light gun. Oh, and a sneaky squad of Fallschirmjägers being spawned in the building on the left, so Complex able to grab one of the victory points. Oh, I really like that move. That's really cool. So, yeah, he's chosen the Luftwaffe Ground Forces doctrine. A very, I would say, ever-popular doctrine. Oh, and some conscripts getting right on top of this Lig, and they really want it, but the Storm Pioneers are going to say no. Force the fallback there, wisely so, as a 220 scout car comes out for the Axis player. Wow, and a large amount of fighting across the middle and left of the map, as Axis making a push here. Oh, that pack howitzer, jeez, that was a near miss. I think that there's enough US forces there in mid to see that off, and I think that there are enough Soviet forces here at the bottom to see these guys off, and I wonder if he's going to push. The Zis gun is in a good position, and he can get hits onto the construction truck, the Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper at risk here. The Lig countering the Zis gun, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and he does lose the Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper. The infrared half-track is also in danger, but should be able to get out of there. Oh wow, the Lig weapon team and a two-man squad of Storm Pioneers with a satchel charge being thrown into the middle. 2 satchel charges, usually enough to deal with the building. With just a bit more flaming, I think he can get the building down. The Zis is moving into position, and this clearly, Fary is a Soviet player who knows what he's doing when it comes to dealing with overcommands. You find the buildings and you destroy them, and with a push, an early mid-game sort of push using the Zis gun and a couple of squads. Oh my goodness, he needs to finish this building off though. There we go. And if we look at the middle of the map, totally under, pardon me, control of the American forces, Rodrigues. He needs to actually, fan something out and claim this victory point, because right now, although the Allies, I would say, took a decisive victory in terms of the military units and the combat that went down, they are not consolidating the all-important points on the map, and they've fallen to quite a deficit now, like about 100 points behind. And that gap is increasing every second that they're not taking these points. Now, are we going to see a bundle charge come out from these Panzer Grenadiers? No, they're just happy to exchange with the STG-44s, and it has to be said at that range they're pretty decent. Going to force these riflemen 3-star back. Oh dear, the pack howitzer just flailing rounds in, and finally we have a squad of riflemen coming to grab the left point, and I'm hoping that soon we'll see some Allied forces grab the middle and probably make a push on the right. This MG42 still being annoying, but I would wager that they... Where's the pack howitzer? No. It's actually nowhere near being in range of that MG. Alright, so that MG is still going to be a thorn in the side for Rodrigues. One thing I have to say though, if you look at the map, in a lot of 2v2s, one player will take one side, the other player will take the other side, and it becomes sort of really uninteractive between, like, within a team. Whereas if you look at this mini-map, Rodrigues' American forces, the yellow dots, are spread, like, right the way across the map. He has forces in mid, he has the squad on left, he has like, a squad on right, so I really like that. Whilst the Soviet forces from Fary pretty much holding centre at the moment, but again I've seen him active like across the map, although focusing on the left, but still I think that's definitely the mark of a more advanced team, being able to coordinate forces like that. And Fary has finally chosen his commander. He's gone for the Lend-Lease doctrine, so I actually casted a game using this commander fairly recently on the channel. A really good commander. I'm heartily impressed by it. When we saw it used before, it was against Overcommand, and it was for a tech-free build, so he spent no fuel on tech, this particular Soviet player, whose name actually escapes me right now. Ooh, some satchel charge, not satchel charge, a demo pack being placed on the middle victory point. That could be brutal. We'll keep an eye on that, hopefully see it go off later. Oh, and a rifle grenade hitting the spicy Dansack machine gun team. And you've got to feel, with this many forces, they're going to go down. I can hit Fallschirmjäger as well, a Molotov going off onto these grenadiers, and all four players pretty much focused on this one screen's worth of team fight here. We have the entire Soviet force, the spicy Dansack repositioned, stunned by grenades, but when that squad comes off of stun, that Dansack is covering all of these forces. Flamethrower squads and basically overwhelming numbers from the US and the Soviets, able, I think, to displace this army, as the pack howitzer still flailing rounds in. I've still yet to see a good hit from that thing yet, actually, you know. And I think this 500 Zwanzig is in a risky position, and it knows it, so it's going to get out. But it... Oh, I don't know if it's going to get spotted by this Sherman.
Go ahead.
It's going to follow the Sherman? Oh, it's like two ships passing in the night. Oof. Only one ship is unbeknownly turning to follow. Oh dear, this doesn't go well for the scout car. Oh, Panzer Tactician smoke being used, but Rodrigues able to get the reverse and finish off the scout car. Pretty much all of the Axis forces at the moment regrouping, healing, reinforcing in the base. So map control, this is like a window for Rodrigues and his ally Fary to try and take as much of the map as they can, and they have secured 2 of the 3 victory points, which I'm really glad to see them do, because I kind of think that these scores up here totally don't reflect the combat that's been going down. So yeah, and a Lend-Lease Sherman coming out for the Soviet forces. So we've got Shermans from the Americans and the Soviets, potent units, whilst the Axis have 1 Panzer IV and just a Panzer IV in terms of like tanks. So Panzer IV for the Wehrmacht player. I must have missed some action. Oh, he's used elite troops training on it, so it's already at 1-star veteran. So this Panzer IV has actually cost in the region of 175 fuel, I believe it is, because I think it's 40 for the elite troops training on top of the 135 for the cost of the Panzer IV. So this Panzer IV representing a significant investment, and coming into contact with a Sherman, which is loaded with the armor-piercing rounds. I don't know if he wants to push this, but the American player seems to think that a Panzer IV is going to win 1v1 with a Sherman, and that's not actually a fight I can call so easily. I think the Panzer IV does have a slight advantage. Yeah, and he seems to be pressuring. Ah, but the other Sherman from the Russian player, the Lend-Lease Sherman, comes in. Oh dear, and this is looking like a dead Panzer IV. Panzer Tactician for the save. Faust and a Panzer Tac. Oh, does he have the munitions? He does not have the munitions for it. Wow, that was glitchy. Just drove straight through it, and this final round misses. And the Panzer IV manages to escape with 2-star veterancy. What a swing! Wow! That is a lucky Panzer IV. He's going to tell his grandkids about this one, assuming he doesn't die trying to get past here. Oh, he needs to use Blitz! He needs to use Blitz! Oh my goodness! He's not out yet. He's not out yet. They're not out yet, as Agent Smith would say. Meanwhile, there is fighting going on in middle and on left. A Rakettenwerfer getting taken out by the Rifleman forces, and they're going to salvage that and grab it, take it back to base. And the map, if you look at the mini-map, clearly, now the combat and now the land situation, the resource points also favouring the Allied players, as the Axis desperately fighting to secure an avenue out of their base, being met by Shermans like a blockade at every turn, although the Lend-Lease Sherman being forced back to repair. That seems pretty wise. So here come the Axis forces, 2 squads of Fallschirmjägers now for Complex. If we take a look at the rest of his forces, he managed to steal the Zis gun as well, so that's actually massive. I think Overcommand is a faction which benefits way more than any others from stealing a weapon, because they tend to have such specific tools, so if they're able to grab something they can't usually build, it gives them a lot of versatility. The pack howitzer is just suppressing any attempt to capture the home fuel point for the Axis team. And if we look at the incomes, I mean, the Allied players are reaping 32 fuel a minute, and the Axis teams, half that for the Wehrmacht player, and a little less than half that, of course, due to the Overcommand tax that you basically have, like the factional tax. So, as the game goes on, the Allies stand to pull ahead in terms of tech. We have a Jackson coming from Rodrigues, so that should be hitting the front in a minute or so. And meanwhile, Fary just going up to a second Lend-Lease Sherman. So, and if we take a look at his fuel, he does have enough for a third Lend-Lease Sherman when he has the manpower. So we'll see if he goes for that, or if he's going to try and diversify, maybe grab a Suchka or something. Let's see, does he have the tech building? No, he doesn't have any tech building, so you have to imagine that fuel's going to go into another Sherman. And a little quiet moment here, as this MG again proving its worth and finally betting up. But we do have a smoke grenade coming out from these riflemen. Are they going to use that to get a pineapple into the building? There's only 2 men left on this crew, and we'll try and keep an eye on that in the minimap as an armour fight, an armour skirmish, forcing these infantry back, the Lend-Lease Shermans from Fary. Now there's a good amount of weapon teams here. We've got a Zis, a pack, some good support, so if the Shermans try and hit this pocket, oh, these guns need to re-aim, and they are re-aiming, so the Pack 40 is going to acquire this Sherman, and I did just hear the announcement that an MG42 team has finally been taken out from this building, so if Rodrigues just puts some squads on the capture point, then they'll be able to achieve complete domination of all 3 of the points. Oh, and an artillery strike coming down in the base. That, I think, is the 152mm heavy American artillery. Ooh, that's brutal. Wow, fortunately not hitting any of the Axis units, fortunately for the Axis players that is. Oh, wow, and a conscript squad. 2-star veteran conscript squad, just kind of getting mowed down there. Let's have a look at the unit cap levels. So I don't think that he was intentionally throwing that squad away, so I think that probably was a mistake from Fary there. Meanwhile, on the left flank, the Overcommand player, Complex, making a tentative push. It's always scary when you're this far behind and you're just trying to see what you can get done, because you're just running out into fog of war and you're not really sure what's out there. He doesn't have his infrared half-track anymore, sadly, so that's not going to be able to enlighten him, as these Fallschirmjägers are going to actually come in at almost the perfect position. Look at the forces opposing them. There's like an ambulance, a major, a couple of other squads, and a Rakettenwerfer. Okay, sure, the Shermans will come across, but only after the fallback is forced. So, okay, these Fallschirmjäger are going to have to get out of here. Here they go. But they get a little. I think that's a pretty good exchange for a fallback on 2 Fallschirmjägers. You managed to fall back the main American operations center, damage one of the Soviet Lend-Lease tanks, which they're going to have to spend time repairing. Bought time on the right maybe here for this push out from your Allied player, Wehrmacht. It's going to come out. The Pack 40 is in a great position to ping this Sherman, which is kind of exposed, and we're going to see a double Faust come out here. I would love to see the Faust. There's a single Faust for sure. Oh, that's a damaged engine, and this pack gun could try and stalk it for the kill. Some smoke grenades coming off the Sherman. There's fighting also on the left flank, which I'll try and cover in just a second. Let's see if this Sherman gets hunted. Does he have enough munitions for another Panzerfaust? He doesn't have the munitions for a Panzerfaust, so maybe that Sherman is actually going to escape. The pack gun is coming. Pack gun knows now is its time. And there's the arc, and there's the shot, and the Sherman is hunted. And with that exchange, you have to say that the Axis are pretty firmly in command of the right-hand side of the map. They're going to grab that victory point back, and they're still... Okay, they're now even, so that phase of dominance has evened the victory count. Let's say even the scores. So this is pretty much anyone's game. Although the map is vastly in favour of the Allies, we do have a Panther coming out from the Overcommand. Oh, and an Overcommand Panther is a scary proposition, although not when it's getting flanked in a horrible crossfire between two Shermans. We should still be able to take this, but a Jackson coming in. Rodrigues, the man on the ground. Johnny on the spot with the Jackson here. Here it comes. Oh. Is he going to get the Sherman? No, the Sherman's going to get him. Oh, and that's a massive swing. 175 Overcommand fuel for our Panther, which unfortunately pretty much got exposed and destroyed. And Fary able to escape with all of his armour. Both Shermans very wounded but intact. And Rodrigues providing what would have been the finishing touch. Even if one of those Shermans had died, that Jackson would have taken care of business there. But Complex isn't done yet. He's still got these Fallschirmjägers. He's still got a good amount of Volks. And he's going to move out with them. I'd like to see this Zis go into a more useful position, because where it is, I mean, I'm not really sure what it's doing. And the Tiger Ace is on the field. Wow. So Afghan Spy now at 17 command points. Had the manpower to call in the Tiger Ace, and if we look at his resources, he has very, very, very little in the way of income. So we'll see what the Tiger Ace can do. Already achieving 4 kills on this Dansek team in the middle, as on the left the forces of Complex going to shred on into these Soviet forces. The Dansek getting destroyed by Fallschirmjägers. The Jackson's going to come out to try and answer this Tiger, but I don't like just rushing it from the front like this. This is really risky. And this is what I was saying, if this Zis gun was just in a better position here, it would be pinging the Jackson. I think this Zis gun's just been neglected, to be honest. So yeah, the Jackson gets a hit. Is that a hit or 2? Anyway, onto the Tiger Ace, which is just going to have to sit back for a second. And here it comes. Lurking as the Lend-Lease Sherman's just kind of wreaking havoc on the other flank. He's going to want to be careful here though. These Volks Grenadiers with the Panzerschreck are pretty much... Wow, no, they're not going to force it back just yet. Oh, look how good he is, just bullying this guy around with the Sherman. I'm not very good at that yet, I need to practice that kind of micro. So anyway, some Pioneers coming out to repair the Tiger Ace, so that's pretty cool. What is this aircraft? Is this a recon? Must be recon, right? Yeah, that's the recon suite being done there. Oh wow, this entire wall from the Complex has been taken out as a fight involving the Tiger Ace is going down now. And he has to play this Tiger carefully. Is he going to take it around the right of this bush or the left? He's going to go through neither and just chew the bush. Okay, fair enough. Oh, the Jackson scoring like grievous hits onto the Tiger Ace. Oof, wow, that one bouncing off the front armor though. And wow, Panzer Tactician being used. Oh no, the Sherman is going to kind of get that Tiger stuck. But the Tiger able to come through. Oh wow. And start hooning into the rear armor of that Sherman. The Jackson coming in for more support. He needs to get the Tiger Ace out. Are there any forces coming to cut off the rear? Wow, a Jackson getting in position. Sorry, not a Jackson. A Rakettenwerfer is going to take out the Jackson by getting into position in its rear armor. The Tiger Ace is just going to chill for a second. And meanwhile, oh, a pack gun is going to also get the Sherman of Rodrigues. Wow. That's a pretty good exchange for the Axis forces, who are now regaining control in mid. The demo charge no longer an option here. That must have been used already. I must have missed that, for which I apologise. Oh, a lot of American forces here, but these Fallschirmjägers are pretty vetted up. Oh, the pack howitzer round. Not quite falling in the middle of the squad, actually. Oh, that was a mine or something. And this is a squad of Fallschirmjägers that needs to get out, and they are. The Rakettenwerfer likewise now exposed. The Zis gun, is he going to use a barrage? There's some Storm Pioneers here to back it up. He's not going to use a barrage, fair enough. He wants to save his munitions, which are pretty tight. As the Wehrmacht forces making a push on the right, trying to finally get rid of this fighting position. The pack gun is going to go boom. And that takes care of that. So where are the Shermans, the Lend-Lease Shermans? Okay, a lot of repairs needed on these units. You can almost pop out the vehicle crew out of this Jackson and repair the Lend-Lease Sherman. I think that's something you can do. God, what a battle as the Tiger Ace getting repaired for all he's worth. Up to 10 kills. Mixed skirmishing going on, but no real fights at the moment. Finally we have 2 rifleman squads making a dive down here to try and cut off the retreating forces. I think there was a white phosphorus barrage called in here, maybe? That will be from the pack howitzer, which has that ability. I better make sure it actually has that ability, otherwise. Yeah, so it does have a white phosphorus barrage. 25 munitions for that barrage, so that seems very reasonable too. Oh, so there's a captured pack gun. Going to slam around into the Tiger Ace, but then the crew mowed down by a swipe of MG, and then there's another captured pack. Wow, and that's just doing work. This is a Tiger Ace that doesn't want to be here now. Come on, get out of there, buddy. There we go, and he does pull it back. There's Complex making a play for the left flank. Gritty fighting here, very grindy, very grindy. I think we might see another big battle as soon as these Lend-Lease Shermans are all repaired. Yeah, they're repaired. The CoH2 is here, the Jackson is here. Oh, sorry, I'm saying Lend-Lease Shermans plural. Of course, one of them died here. So there's only one left now. Wow, and this one just immediately running into a load of Fallschirmjägers. We do have anti-tank weapons. Oh, but the rounds from the pack howitzer. You're playing with fire here. This expensive infantry. Woo, clustered up badly. Panzer Grenadiers, 3-star vet, doing their thing. Chewing through infantry on the right flank, although I imagine that captain with his Tommy gun and should be enough to force them back. Pack howitzer round. Ugh, clipping the Rakettenwerfer at the rear there. Complex putting on good pressure here, putting on really good pressure. He's managed to establish some Schwerer HQ, of course, because he had that Panther earlier. In the middle of the map. Here it is. Let's see. Actually managing to make a play for one of the victory points. And the Axis forces are now down quite a lot. Oh, as a Katushka barrage is going to be used to try and deny the capture on this point. Oh, and it's just so much damage. Those rockets and clicks. The Rakettenwerfer being left on the point as the kind of sacrifice, I guess. And survives to tell the tale. So the Axis forces are able to stymie their flow of victory points, which they were losing. And they're now down by about 140 tickets as the Tiger Ace comes in from the flank, gets a massive hit onto the Jackson, and the Lend-Lease Sherman is parking straight in its rear armour, preventing the reverse. And this looks like a Tiger Ace that's in jeopardy. The Sherman is just going to completely stop the fallback, and the Tiger Ace is going to try and gets the Jackson. And now he's on the run. He's not actually too slow either. That Lend-Lease Sherman though, 3-star veteran, is inflicting massive damage. Is it going to be enough? Is he going to be able to hunt down the Tiger Ace? He's doing really good. There needs to be some support. Where are the weapon teams? Where are the Volks? Where are the Sis guns? And deciding to save its hide, the Lend-Lease Sherman gets out. But it's got a load of infantry in its rear quarter. Got to be careful. That's a Panzerfaust or 2 away from death. And Afghan Spy does have the munition for 2 Fausts, but the 2 Shermans actually just chewing this infantry up in pretty quick order. Now, is the Tiger being repaired? Yes, it is. Repair tool could be purchased for these Storm Pioneers. That would make them repair a lot faster, which, based on the fact that the only reason they're in this game, really, is pretty much because of that Tiger Ace. So I really would rate buying the repair tool right now. It's only 30 munitions. Be really cool. So 2 Katushkas on the field now, and a Panther, finally. Complex now has another armoured asset as a second Panther for him comes out. And let's hope that this Panther, a little bit more fortunate than the first one, which we saw explode in this area earlier on in the game, basically just got outmaneuvered and destroyed by superior numbers of Lend-Lease Shermans and a Jackson earlier on. And so let's see what happens with this new Panther. The Tiger Ace nearly fully repaired and back in the field, ready to go out, and it's on 19 kills now, so pretty beefy. Pretty beefy. So the Axis players behind on victory points and now only hold 1 of the 3, so the pressure's on them basically. The onus is on them to make a move. We've got the Panther coming out behind the Fallschirmjäger to begin proceedings, to begin the festivities in the middle. There's a rain of destruction. It's going to start flailing in. I think that's like 2 pack howitzers. There are also Katushkas who are in position, just waiting for a good shot to present itself. The Tiger Ace now moving into range, and it's going to start lumping this 3-star MG42 team in mid, and that's pretty good. The Panther doing good damage to this first Lend-Lease Sherman, which despite the fact it's being repaired, is going to have to relocate. Oh, a massive stinging shell from the Tiger Ace coming in there. The Panther now pushing up, and this could be what they needed. I can't help but feel some mines here in middle would have really stopped this advance and made the Panther totally stricken. I know that the Allied players have many more things on their mind, but Fary, for example, floating over 800 munitions. He could have deployed some mines here. Oops, excuse me there, a little bit of computer lag. Oh wow, the Panther getting really brave. I'm not sure this is a good idea. He needs to be careful with the Panther. He also needs to switch it to turn off the target vehicle so it uses the MGs on the infantry. And they're just chewing through the support squads of the Allies here. The pack howitzers and the MGs, which have been alive for a lot of this game, now going down. And are the Katushkas going to do anything? Seems like they've retreated right to the back, and that seems fair. I think firing the Katushkas at the command point in just a second when they see it getting captured, that could be a really good move. But these 2 tanks, the Panther and the Tiger Ace, the Allies are not just flustered, they're a little bit panicked, and if we look at the minimap, control is beginning to fall back into the Axis hands. So by initiating a kind of lopsided battle, by pushing with the Tiger Ace and the Panther, backing it up with Fallschirmjägers and a wave of infantry, which weren't really even in the fight, yeah, the Axis are able to stabilize the situation, and I would say even grab the upper hand in this game. How much veterancy on this Panther? Only half a bar, so getting there. I heard the Katushkas firing, but were they firing onto the right flank? And Rodrigues saying GG here. A little preemptive. I mean, yeah, the Axis forces are on their doorstep, but they've still got a number of Shermans. They've still got a Ziskan for now. We'll see how long that lasts. The Panther caught here with the fat Tiger Ace behind it. This could be a dead Panther. I mean, retreating is going to be hard, and it's taking hit after hit from a number of anti-tank platforms. And this could be the throat. You've got to be so careful with Veterancy 1 Panthers. They do not have the durability or maneuverability of their Veterancy 2 and 3 counterparts. That Panther, until it's Veterancy 3, is actually a little bit vulnerable. Like, that's the time you've got to kill him. And with that loss, Rodrigues' GG looking very, very preemptive now, because I think the Allies are kind of right back in this. There's an engine-damaged Tiger Ace here who's on 2/3 health, getting pinged by a Ziskan and flanked by a Sherman. Could this be the end of the Tiger Ace? It's hard to tell. Oh, there's Pioneers going in for the repair and just getting run over. The Tiger Ace now exposing his rear armor to the foe. Wow, Afghan, no. No, you want to turn. Does it have the blitz ability? It does have the blitz ability ready to go, and it needs to use it. I think this pack gun is just going to do damage. Oh, and I would be amazed if this was not the death of this Tiger Ace. If there's one unit that can survive this kind of abuse, it is a Tiger Ace, though. Oh, the crew getting stunned. But the pack gun is taken out! The pack gun's taken out, and there is anti-tank, the Ziskan from the north, and the Tiger Ace is finally destroyed. What a struggle! And with that, I think the game's pretty even, at least at the moment. Oh, the 4-star squad of Fallschirmjägers getting hooned, and the MG42 can take them out! And that's another massive exchange as a Katushka barrage starts destroying these forces here. Oh, they managed to escape, but wow, when you lose those heavily veteran squads as overcommand, it doesn't half hurt. The Axis are actually in command of all 3 of the victory points and have good map presence, except, well, not on the right, but they have good map presence in the middle, and the Allies haven't sent anything right. In fact, the Allies' forces, mostly at the moment, forced to be in their base, rearming, repairing, reinforcing. And, whew, wow. This one's still too close to call. I don't actually know what's going to happen here. I think that the Allies have the upper hand insofar as they still got 2 Katushkas and a couple of tanks. Do they still have a Lend-Lease Sherman? No, they don't. Wow, my goodness, look at the forces of Fary. They've been decimated. He's only got 4 squads of infantry and 2 Katushkas, and he's basically low on manpower. And he doesn't have just an artillery dump for all of these munitions, so no wonder he's stacking munitions. I mean, he could be calling in more fuel, but he's not even really that short on fuel. There's another squad of Fallschirmjägers being spawned from this building, able to defend this point for now. The Allies trying to cap at mid, and that's going to be met with a response. He should just get somebody into this circle to stall the cap. Smoke coming down. That's pretty useful. Yeah, sure. Okay, I can buy that. And this Sherman just wants to edge into range. Is he set to high explosive? Yeah, he's set to high explosive, so that's going to really hurt. Oh, is he going to get this pack gun? Oh my... Sorry, it's a Zis gun. 3-star Panzer Grenadiers are such beasts. Oh no, and the Sherman's going to get hunted down. Are there any other anti-tank platforms here? No, but he could grab this Zis gun and turn it round. Or he could grab this pack gun and turn it round. Come on, go for the pack gun, my son. Go for the pack gun, my son. Yeah, and he gets the pack gun, he's going to turn it north and it's going to start hammering this Sherman. The Katushka, I can hear the Katushka firing. Where's that going? That's landing here. And is the 3-star? Yeah, the 3-star Panzer Grenadiers go down. The other Katushka landing shots onto this just captured pack gun. The Volks fearlessly coming through the barrage. They want the Sherman, they know he's there. And they're going to start taking shots, and it probably only needs 2 more hits to destroy that Sherman. Oh, these forces clustering horribly, and they must split left. He wants the Katushkas. And he's going to get them. Oh, this is expensive losses. That is expensive losses for the Soviet player. And if you look at his forces roster, he is down real low now. This is a desperate battle. And if you look at the victory points, I don't think they actually have time to remax. I don't think they have time to buy enough forces and go. I think they've got to go with what they've got. And they're making a desperate hold in the top right as this lieutenant struggling against Fallschirmjägers. And this, believe it or not, is a crucial fight because whoever has to fall back first is not going to be able to claim the point. And at the moment, victory points are everything. There is not much time left in this game and not many forces left to achieve domination. An AA half-track coming out at like the 40-minute mark. Oh my goodness! I'm not sure what to make of this. It's a really good choice, but it's so weak. It's able to counter infantry, and since that's all the Axis players have in the middle of the map at the moment, that is kind of crucial. Oh wow, you do only get 1 Tiger Ace for the entire battle. Wow, so yeah, that is not an option. There can be no more Tiger Aces. This AA half-track, I suspect, is going to do work. It must be nearly veteran 1. No, not quite. Forcing these very veteran Grenadiers out. Yeah, sure, it's engines damage, but now the Lend-Lease Sherman comes in from the back. Oh, what was that? Rakettenwerfer and a pack gun. Sorry, and a Zis gun. This Zis gun in Axis hands pretty much the whole game. And is that going to be a dead Sherman? No, it gets out with its life, and the Major calling in an artillery barrage onto the Zis gun. You've got to feel like it's not moved. Or was that the fake artillery call-in? I think that was the fake artillery call-in. Ha! Very nicely done there. Why not? And the Katushka rounds just coming in to inflict damage on the infantry. Oh dear, that MG squad wiped up. Katushkas are so brutal. So horribly brutal. There's the AA half-track. Oh, I don't think it wants to be there. There's like 2 pack guns and a Zis. Oh, and it's abandoned of all the luck. Of all the luck. Are there any infantry nearby who can make a grab on that? Not really. He's just going to destroy it. Yeah, fair enough. But the Allies, crucially enough, do hold 2 of the 3 victory points and therefore aren't bleeding to death at the moment. They're on 71. So, and to the Axis on just over 100. So basically it's all about victory points. I think this game is going to be won or lost on victory points. So let's take a look at the forces rosters then. So Rodrigues down to 4 squads of infantry, 1 Sherman, whilst his friend Fary, playing as Soviets, is on 4 squads of infantry, a Sherman and a Katushka. The Axis forces of Complex, wow, he's got like 8 squads of infantry, including Fallschirmjägers and 2 anti-tank guns and an artillery piece. And his ally, playing as Wehrmacht, has many squads of Grenadiers and 2 pack guns. So if we look at the forces, basically the Axis far outnumber the Allies and have the anti-tank platforms to deal with the Axis' only advantage, which is the fact that they still have 2 tanks. Ooh, we see a Stug coming out, and I like the choice of the Stug. Effective against infantry, effective against tanks, especially when well supported with forward observer infantry units, which of course it will be in this circumstance. The Axis crucially managing to grab this point. Now fall back at Fallschirmjägers, and he does. Oh, the high explosive shells. Far too much for Mr. Fallschirmjäger to deal with there. And a Dansak spicy machine gun is going to make a push into mid, forcing back all of the units that are here. And you know what? This Dansak can actually beat everything here if he doesn't move it now. If he moves it now, it's going to get caught by these Volks. Oh no, you know what? Then the arc is just off. The arc is off. Oh, he's re-aiming it. As on the left, some conscripts are going to take out this Rakettenwerfer. That's pretty good. And the Katushka advancing into mid just to fire off another salvo. Where's the salvo landing? It's kind of hitting the light gun. Oh my goodness, Katushkas, they actually just make me wince. Stuff of nightmares. Stuff of nightmares. And the Wehrmacht player, Afghan Spy, making a really good hold on the right-hand side of the map. Keep a close eye on these victory points because Axis are pushing ahead at the moment. The Allied team are down to 58, desperately trying to get everything they can done. Both of them pretty low on manpower, and that's the crucial thing right now. Low on manpower and therefore unable to build more squads, and they just need a bit more presence. In fact, you know what? They're taking mid. They're taking mid, so that's stopped them from bleeding out for now. And actually, there's very little to stop them here. These Storm Pioneers are going to make a slight dent, but against 3 squads, I mean, even a 3-star veteran, they're not going to make much of a difference, especially if they don't stand and fight. He needs to fall them back, and he does. Meanwhile, a fight on the right as... that's a Panther. The 3rd Panther for Complex CN coming in. And that is going to be a dead Sherman. What a swing again. Just when it looked like the Allies were taking the upper hand, as they do have middle, you've got to think that with a Stug and a Sherman on the field, surely it can't be done. Mines being laid in the middle. Surely it can't be done for the Allied forces. A Stug and a Panther versus... Okay, no, there's another Lend-Lease Sherman, so there are 2 Lend-Lease Shermans. Oh, I don't know, okay, well that makes it close again, because we've still got the Katushka alive. Wow, this one's going to come right down to the wire, I think. What a treat. What a treat. And I almost feel like it's been so frantic this entire time. I'm not really sure what the take-home message is. Oh, wow, the airborne assault being used. 250 munitions from Complex, suppressing 3 squads of infantry, and dumping, crucially, another squad of infantry of Fallschirmjägers into the middle. This is going to be able to decap the point. And there we go, the Stuka, sorry, I was reduced to the level of an 8-year-old child there. The commentary really shining as the best I could manage. But hey, who doesn't love an awesome strafing run from an aircraft? Here comes another one, let's do it again. That's pretty damn cool. And these Fallschirmjägers, that was just awesome. I don't think I've ever seen that call in to be so good. Oh no! But there's only 2 of them left and he's going to be forced to fall back before the capture is complete. But here comes 2 5-star Volk squads with Shreks. Is that the Katushka I can hear? Oh, the Katushka's the counter, and are there still mines here? Careful, Panther! Oh my goodness. Ooh. Gets through without hitting any mines. And he's going to find a Major and a Sherman. I'll tell you what, man, Complex really commits these Panthers way too hard. If this was a 2-star Panther, maybe. But a 1-star Panther, I mean, look, this Panther's in jeopardy now. This Pat gun just being salvaged is going to turn too slowly. Wow, I mean, you've got to be so careful. I know that the game's nearly over, and I know both teams are desperately gasping for every advantage they can try and hold. But you've still got to be careful. I know he was just trying to dive for the Katushka with the Panther, but it's just not a move I would have made. I would have used the Panther just to ward off their armor and secure mid or something. But, hey, who am I to speak? I mean, they've managed to get middle anyway, so, and the Panther is alive. Although, I mean, he's going to have to spend a while repairing it. And a while is... They don't have a while right now. Oh, and another squad of Fallschirmjägers. The Luftwaffe ground support doctrine just shining in this matchup. Absolutely shining. And it's mostly because of the Fallschirmjäger call-in. I haven't seen MG34s or anything. The ability to spawn infantry from buildings. You know, actually, this has been a thing that's happened so many times on this map. I would say, allied players who are watching, if you play on this map and your opponent is playing as the Scavenge Doctrine or any of the German doctrines that can spawn troops in buildings, just take them out. Like, destroy those buildings. Or put mines on the doors. Putting mines on the doorway of the building is horrendous as well for the Axis player. Anyway, a fight here in mid as quite a few squads of Axis being suppressed by the spicy Dansack fire. A Pat gun at the rear getting a lucky hit on a Fallschirmjäger. And here comes a Molotov. The Molotov's looking good. But no Fallschirmjäger burn, obviously remembering their fire retardant uniforms today. Oh, and a Katushka barrage, able to force back one of the squads of Volks. But the second squad is starting to get the cap completed here. Oh no, no, that artillery. Wow. Indirect fire. It's pretty cool. And a squad of Panzer Grenadiers being forced back. And now, the Allies, who are down to 42 victory points, suddenly find themselves in control of 2 of the 3 capture points. And this MG squad needs to capture this point, because otherwise they're going to be dying at 2 per tick. And if he takes this, they'll only be dying at 1 ticket per tick. Oh, okay. And at the moment, every victory point counts. This is one of these really scrappy late games. The Panther repaired and returning. How's that Stug doing? I haven't really seen it do much. Okay, well, it's up to 1-star veterancy, but I think that's just through elite troop training ability. I don't think that's actually through combat. Oh, Yeah, he's set to target vehicles only.
Has broken our
Needs to
supply
turn that off
lines.
because it's actually okay against infantry.
Stock ready.
How much is the MG on this thing? 50. Okay, so you can't buy that. And on the right flank, the Katushka moving back into position. It's now 2-star vet with 19 kills. Here's the barrage. Oh, a little bit close to the American forces. Oh, but they're okay. Oh, and hooning the building that has the MG in it. And that final grenade enough to crumple it down. See, if they'd have destroyed this building, but the equivalent one here, oh, which they have now destroyed, that would have been enough to prevent the Fallschirmjägers from spawning up there, which has actually brought the Axis player quite a lot of advantage and time as the game has gone on. Ooh, a Jackson in position. That's probably going to destroy this Stug. See, the positioning on this Stug worries me, because from here, it can't reverse move. What it's going to have to do is turn to face here, then reverse move here, then turn and then reverse. If it was just here, it could be covering the same advance, but it wouldn't have to turn before it reverses. And this is the danger you see now, because the Jackson's in its side armour. It's going to use the line of sight blocker to shield itself from the Jackson while getting shots on the Sherman, which I quite like, but yeah, realising that's not a fight he wants to take, getting out while he can. If that Jackson sees it, it doesn't. That's okay then. Phew, I thought maybe the Sherman was going to get line of sight on it and then the Jackson was going to get a KO blow, but that didn't happen. And then in the middle, we've got a Panzer IV joining the Panther. The fuel income's still like reasonable for the Axis players, even though he doesn't have the fuel converter building. Making a desperate play for mid, the mines having already been taken out somehow, probably went off on some poor guy. Oh, and a Jackson hooning in from the side armour. There's 2 Lend-Lease Shermans and a Pak 40 firing from the north, able to instantly destroy the Panzer IV, and the Panther is on the run. I think it will escape, taking another crushing hit from a Jackson there. And these 2 Shermans, are they going to dive for it? Nah, play it safe. Play it cool, boy. You basically got this as long as you don't throw it, and the only way you can throw it right now is by trying to take a dive on a Panther, so fair enough, that's pretty cool. I like the way he played it cautious there. This Jackson is in a nice position as well. Massive infantry moving out from onto the right flank. The Allies are taking these 2 victory points though, and if they actually capture both of these, when you take into account the amount of time it takes the Axis team to decapture them, I kind of think the Allies, this is the winning capture. Because unless the Axis literally start capturing 2 of the points on the map in the very near future, and it has to be 2, so even this one is not enough. Well, we'll see what happens. That's a lot of infantry, and that is a big shame. I'm just going to start running them over. Oh, so much run over, so much overrunning done. And there is a Stug at the back. That's going to force him back. Whoa! But the Jackson getting in on the Stug. That's a crazy angle. Is Jackson going to take another shot? Yeah, it is. So the Stug trades out for a Sherman, which would have been worth it had he not already spent the elite troop training on it. Just in terms of pure resources. This Panther is going to get run down, and here comes an artillery strike on the bulk of these Wehrmacht forces, and a Katushka barrage as well. It's going to be absolutely brutal. Meanwhile, the fighting on the right, inconclusive, but at last bled out on the victory points. Are the Axis team. Wow! What a game! What a game! Well played by Rodrigues and Fary. I mean, even though Rodrigues typed GG at one point there, when the Tiger Ace and the Panther were outside their base, it just goes to show Company of Heroes 2 is a game of changes of momentum and swings in different phases of the game. And you're never out until you're actually out. Yeah, this game just going to demonstrate that. A really close one. Winning by just 42 victory points, which I would say I would call that a pretty close victory. Oh, look, there's a little Katushka rocket, like, in midair. Like, there he is. Hey, I'm a Katushka rocket. What's going on? All the players playing pretty well there. That's kind of a replay I think I might go over, but a little bit more slowly in my own time and try and actually learn some things from. Because when you're trying to cover all the battles, wow, it's pretty difficult to do. When you've got 2 really good players on each team who are fighting across the map. But anyway, yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the cast. And I look forward to bringing you some more battles in the near future. If you have any replays of your own that you want casted, just send them to magpiereplays@gmail.com. That's magpiereplays@gmail.com. Magpie Replays is all one word, so just Magpie Replays. So thanks very much for watching. This is Magpie A42 signing out.